Okay, looks like we're going live here. A little early, just sitting up. Yeah. I'm going over here to see. All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. All
right.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, guys, I think we're live, right? I don't like the angle too much. Yeah. I'm looking at my iPad here in case I see some questions. And my camera's up here with my iPhone. So I guess there's a little little lag going on. So I see Grant here. Hey Grant, good to see ya. Good to hear ya. Hope everything's good. So basically I gotta put my glasses on, right? And we're going to build a fermenting bin. Yeah, there's a little lag going on here from what I'm hearing. So I'm going to turn my... All right, so here we go. We got a regular bucket. This is a 6-gallon bucket. I like to get or use 90 millimeter thick. That is... you got a 2 there, so it's recycling. 90 millimeter, folks. Don't waste your time on anything else but 90 millimeters. These have lasted outside for 5 years easy. Winter, New England winters, and this is a brand new one I have in my basement. I came across all these buckets way back when I'd bring my kids into high school. I'd raid this certain dumpster, and I was so surprised to see the waste of the waste that went on here. All these buckets, and you know, I called the dumpster people of where they're going, and they went to an incinerator. And I'm telling you folks, I got thousands of them. Lids too. So let's start by drilling the holes. We're going to drill a total of 10 holes. All right. I got to turn that down because it's a little lagged. All right. So now, got my drill. Okay, got a 1.5 inch bit. That one I'm going to use. Let's start with the lid first. I use 1.5 inch drill bit first, and I drill it right in the middle. I drill right in the middle. Put this down here for now. And you got to be careful with this when you're drilling because sometimes it'll lock on you. So you kind of got to go slow and kind of ruin the hole. So let me see. Can you see that? I think you can. All right, got a nice hole like that, okay? And now, with the bucket, we're going to change the drill bit, and we're going to use an inch. Here's an inch. We're going to use 1 1/8 inches. I used to use 1 inch, but I used to have to jam these things in the bucket, and it was always a pain. So, with 1 inch, 1 1/8 inch, you can do so much better. You could just stick it in easier, and it's just better. So that's the only hole that's a big one for here. Now here's another thought that I recommend. If you got Gatorade bottles, I'd use Gatorade. The bigger the hole, of course, there's more aeration. I get a lot of these, so that's why I use this, and it seems to work fine. But a bigger Gatorade, more air gets into your bin. Okay, so let's drill some holes here. Let's see if I can't get a little. My table's a little high, so I gotta get on something. Stand on this thing here. All right, so let's drill some holes. Now what I do with this bucket, it's all laid out for me. It's got these this little line here. There's 4 lines, and then you'll see there's 4 lines here. So what I do is I drill it right at the top here like this. Hopefully my furnace won't go on. So one. 2, see how that kicked in? You can ruin your hole like that. So you got to be a little slower than that. Won't ruin this bin, but that's a stupid mistake, doesn't it? Okay, so now I'll do this a little slower. There's probably a better bit to use. That's the angle I'm in to do it for me. And right here. There we go. So that's the 4 top ones. Now we're going to do the 4 bottoms. Now, if anybody has any questions, I'm looking on my my iPad here. I got my iPhone up here, and I got my iPad down here. So if you have a question, don't hesitate to ask all you thousands of people in my group learning how to make a Vernmenting bin, the most up-to-date model. Now, for the bottom holes, guys, and girls, what we have to do is we want to drill a little so we can get our card. When we clean these buckets, you want to have a little bit of a gap here so your card can get underneath there. A lot of worms like to hide under these little air pockets. So now that I have these on this side, I usually go by this lid to do my 4. I mean, this handle to do my 4 up here. So I have to stand up here like this. You see. And so you see I go a little bit above. Like that. One. And see this one here? Go a little bit up. Just to add a little one. Doesn't have to be perfect, but see how it kicks like that? Why is it doing it? That's my angle too. I'm gonna do that with a blade. This. Usually when this bucket's on the ground, it's easier for me to drill them, but I'll go slower. See how that kicks in there? You'll ruin your bucket if you don't careful. And maybe this is the wrong bit, but it usually works good. I'm having a little problem because I'm up here on this thing here. See how it kicks my drill? Gotta go slow, that's all. And sometimes, you know, if you're worried about it, you can put your drill in reverse. Then you don't have to worry about it as much, right? So there's our holes there. Now we want our bottom hole. Notice the bottom hole here is going to be a smaller hole than the lid hole. And that's all about the drainage. I'm going to reverse it. And it goes in nice and nice. Now, I'll get my blade here and try to clean up that silly hole that I did. So I'm done with the drill, basically, I believe. Clean all these parts with your blade. Look at that one. That's good. We'll fix it. It'll all be fine. This spin, once you get it down, you have all the parts available. You can make it so fast. And again, as I've said in some of my my videos, these make great nurseries. Aerated buckets for see, I almost ruined that one. I didn't ruin it, but I almost did. But it didn't. Okay, this one too. Going just a little too fast. It'll still shine. It'll still look nice and professional. Done. And you leave a nice little gap so the worms can. So your card, when you're cleaning it, and if you've seen some of my videos, you get your card, you can get under that better. Now let's make our aeration fittings. Guys, if you're not putting these aeration fittings on your worm farms, they work so great. And I'm gonna make a couple for you right here. Show you how I make them. I have some pre-made, but I'll make a couple just to give you a sense of how to do it. And you got to get your PVC cutters. And what I do is I cut the cap lid off, the cap top off, like that, right? Could even got it better than that. I'm nervous with all these people watching me. I'm just so nervous. All right, just like that, boom, and then cut the head off the bottle like this. I usually spin it, get the better cut usually. So that's how you get an aeration fitting. Now, this is what I recommend. You use something this big for each of your holes because it's more aeration getting inside. But you can use, these work just fine. I've got most of mine are like this anyway. I've got a few that are like that. But I get a lot of these bottles because we drink a certain soda that, or I don't. My neighbor does. And it's easy to use those. She wonders why I always make her bottles. This is why. To make a fitting. All right, so now we got this here too. Let's show you this part as well. I usually just cut this like this, right? And this helps hold the screen in your aeration fitting. Beautiful, because there's no glues. It's all... Then I grab my scissors, which are right here. Even it off a little bit. And then I cut this down the middle, like that. Boom, right? Now, that I have these, I try to make these as big as wide as this cap is, because it's gonna, you'll see why when I'm done, because that's gonna go inside there. One, two, cut them just like that, very easy. All right, I don't see any questions. If you're still there, Grant. Oh, well, I did see one, so it is working. You clapped and said hi. Hi, Grant. Oh, still looks like you're still there. There's somebody else in here, but again, I'm gonna. This is kind of a rehearsal for. I'm gonna be opening up bins this way instead of editing. You know, when I do an Eve opening, or not Eve, a Vermenting opening video. You get the idea with this thing right here. When I do an Eve. When I do a Vermenting opening revealing video, I'm going to do it live just so I don't have to do the editing. And we'll see how this one plays out. If I could just... I don't like the angle that this is, by the way. I'd rather have it go the other way, but we'll work on that one too. I wonder if I can go horizontal. Let's see here. Is that going? No, I don't know about that. I'm not going to mess with it because it seems to be working good. And there's a little bit of a delay. All right. So now that we got that done, we'll show you how we put some screen in here. Now, what I usually do, this part here, I usually take off. But some of the bottles, when you take this off, it won't tighten up good. So it just looks like a cleaner build. The reason why I do that from the outside. And this, if you do have a cap that doesn't screw on tight, this plastic thing works good. But I know this particular cap doesn't need one at all, so I'm going to just cut that right off then, not double it. Okay, so this is like that. Now, we're going to put in the screen, right? So what we do is, we get our plastic screen holder, for lack of a better name, like this, and we measure it nice and tight in this hole. Okay, a little sticky there. That's why I can't wear gloves when you're making these, because it is kind of hard. All right, so now, get in there, you. All right, so then you stick it in here just for a measurement. You want it nice and, you want it to fit in there nice and tight. Just like that, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab this screening. Now this screening I get at Goodwill stores or Salvation Army stores all day long. Wait for that ticket that's half off, and I get them for like $2 for a huge vat of it, you know what I mean? So kind of like that, and then you push it in all the way, and it should just come just like that. You see that? And then this one is ready to put in your bucket, right? Undo another one. So you go like this. I cut this plastic off. You don't have to take it off, but I think it looks better with the bin. So I cut this off like this. Cut that right out. All right. Then what I do? See my furnace went on. That's a pain in the bum, isn't it? But anyway, I think you can hear me good. So you fit it like this. Inside like this. Oh yeah, I got some questions here now. Oh good. How's it going, everybody? Hello from London. My heroes from London, from England. Thomas Paine, right guys? I use old brewery strainer bag. Yeah, good. Good. Yeah, look at, I use this. I use my old, this is how I drain my compost. After I mince it, I let it dangle in this bag for a little bit. And, you know, nylon, whatever you got, whatever's available, guys. That's the beauty about it all. It's just what's available. Fit it like that. This one's a little tighter, right? That's kind of a little tighter weave than this one here. But it seems to be working good. I have no problem with that one. And so try to get one if you can get it. If you're looking for stuff like that, get one, like you're saying, that brewer straining bags, like this paint bag, it works great. But where were we here? Oh yeah, let's fit this into this hole. Like this, right? Put it in the hole first. This was great, you know. I was so psyched when I thought of how to fit these screens in, because before I was just, you know, thinking because you could do these bigger ones when you have this, and I'll show you that next. But before that, I was cutting, you know, conduit to size, you know, and I was because this conduit fits perfectly inside there like that. So I was cutting a little piece of that and sticking it in there, but that doesn't do good for these ones. I was thinking, now what? I don't want to go finding a hose or a conduit that size. So that's why this. I don't even know what to call it. There's no name for it. But that's why this. And I always put it in this way, right? And then put it in the hole like that. Then I cut it. And when it's on the bucket, like let's say I'm replacing one, I use a razor blade usually. That's all. Stick it through the hole, just so it's just like that, right? Isn't that nice? Then this goes on like that. Let's do one more big one, just for the fun of it, to show you the amazing. This right here. So you can have these all pre-made for when you're doing your bin. When it's time for your bin. Oh yeah, so I measure it first. Like this. Nylon. Nice XL. 120. Very good. Oh, thank you everybody. Alan, how's it going, my friend? Alan, guys, he's got a great channel. He's been working on a lot of stuff. Got a lot of unique growing systems. He's got an awesome passion for it. I love you, Alan. Awesome job. I want to talk to you too about something when we get a chance. I just cut this like this. Right? Just like that. This one's for, I'm going to stick it right in there like that. Now this one is for the lid. Now, remember in my last video, fermenting bin opening, we got a lot of pooling because the lid was not flush, right? So this is how, it's got to be flush. See how that fit nice right in there, nice? This is 1.5 inch drill bit there, just like that. And now the water, when the water from the next bin comes down, it, you know, remember this was up a little bit, so the water was, you know, I had to pull the water. This will get it in there. That'll stop that one. So then the lid one, go like this, and you tighten it up with this. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out, unless they do. Now see how I cut the strip off this, that strip that was on here? Now this doesn't fit as tight down. The bottle's like that. So what I usually do, it'll be fine for the lid, but what I usually do is I put the strip on this side and then tighten. I'll show you in one of these bins. So that's the lid. And then the bottom cover, maybe this is one I'll have to show you how it, no, I'm not going to do this. These ones are guaranteed each time. I love this bottle cap from that person. Whatever company that is. Now see, they fit 1 1/8 inch fits beautifully on there. Watch that. Tighten it up nice and tight. That's what it looks like at the bottom. Now this, when it goes on, that should drain right on down through. That was huge, guys. I thought of it for the longest time. You know, if you look at the progression of my videos, and a lot of people say you should take them down because, you know, you confuse people. You got people making older models, but you really, I'm sorry about that. I really don't like that people are doing older models, but I like to keep the progression of it all myself. When I started doing fermenting, I started with 2 buckets, and it's amazing. You think of it all done like this, and you think to yourself, how easy is that? I could have thought of that. This took a long time to think of this. A lot of prototypes. Luckily, for many of them, I didn't have to. They were changes that didn't have to get rid of the bin. All right. So now we'll start putting these in. Look at how nice they fit in. Should fit in if you cut the whole bed of mock. But see, you don't even see that mistake right there. Really. But I don't like it, right? It's not good to that. So then what you do is you tighten it nice and tight. And guys, these aeration fittings can be on any bin. You put it on your bins for air, you know, any fermenting or any vermiculture bin, worm farm bin. Tighten that on there like that. Now the screens, easy to pop out, to replace if need be. See, look at that, boom. This thing is almost ready to be sold, right? Marketed and sold. Wouldn't that be something? Someday maybe I'll sell them, guys, but I like to open source. I think the way of the future is open sourcing. Everybody's sharing ideas with one another. Let me look at some other questions here that might be here. Now this, all those Gatorades. Now these ones are just regular pop bottles. Let me see, like this one here. That's what that one is, Alan. But I would use Gatorade. Yeah, is that what you're saying? That's what I would use, because the bigger the better. That's true about a lot of things, isn't it? Regular water bottles, yep, or Pepsi bottles. Pepsi works better than Coke. And I'm a fan of Pepsi more so than Coke. But I tell you what, Pepsi bottles work better than Coke bottles. And here's a Coke bottle here. And I'll need to put if I use this one, I'll need to put that plastic strip on there. Where's this plastic strip, you know? That little thing that's there. With this bottle, I could take it off and not worry about it because this cap goes nice and snug right down to it. So don't worry about that. And then you just screw it right on there, nice and tight. And I've been doing very good these days with, you know, my last opening that I showed, I had a couple bad bins in that one, right? Anaerobic type thing. The worms did fair, but, you know, there's you just got to pack it right, and you can't do that heat, that thermal phase. You just got to be careful when you're doing fermenting in tight spaces. The worms don't have a place to go when it's so tight. But the beauty of it is pack it and leave it. And I'll talk more about the T55 and my continuous flow system and how I'm not doing anything on it yet because I'm still kind of, you know, I'm doing humanure with one of them that's working really good, but I'm doing regular house compost like I'm doing in these fermenting bins. And, you know, it's taking a long time to get a harvest, and I'm getting a lot of leakage. And so I didn't design my T55 with leakage in mind because I thought I'd be running them dry. Here's this one, this bad one here that I did. See, look, nothing will get out of that. So we didn't ruin the bucket, luckily. And then we tighten them. Let me see here. There we go. always have to have it vertical. You see how you guys are watching this vertically? I'd like it to go horizontal so you could, so it's more of a more space, you know, on the screen. But maybe this is how it works. I don't know. Again, this is another test. Gatorade, good idea. Love the combo. Hi, everybody. How many people? We got 6 in here now. All right. Welcome, everybody. We're just doing a, oh yeah. This goes, we're just doing a quick fermenting of what I'm working with these days with fermenting. And in another video, I'll go through my system. But today I just wanted to make one bin here and test going live for the first time. So I don't have to edit anything. I'll just go live. It is what it is. You say what you say, and hopefully all will be all right. I could see this one kind of broke. That little cap. No biggie. That'll still last. Or is it a biggie? Now, see, when I screw this on, it won't matter. You know, nothing can get in, nothing can get out, except when they do. Except when you pack it with stuff that has larvae already in it. Then you get all those scutterflies, those nasties. So that's it, guys. You got this and this, and that's the basic bucket of it, right? You move it around like a bucket, and it goes in the system like a bucket, yet they work like some kind of transformer. Let me see if I have a bin here. Here's a bin here with the hole. Here's a bin that's already made. I just, you know, so it goes like on top like this, right? You could picture it on like this, and if you're looking at it, let's try to get this, if I can get this in a video form. If you're looking at it, the air from the bottom bucket goes in here, and then it can go up into this one. But this is mostly for a drainage. This bottom hole there is mostly drainage, but it could get air going down inside as well. So the drainage goes right through the system, if you can picture that. And same with this bottom, goes down through here, and the air from here goes up through here. So it's kind of working, it's kind of one system. You know how we were talking about how many systems do you have? And I was saying, I got 40 worm farms. But reality, this is just one system, fermenting system that can expand and contract as you need it to, you know. These, again, are food grade buckets that I picked up in the dumpster all day long. This restaurant that I got them from, I got a couple of them. They do a great business, but guess what? Their ecological footprint is nasty. You know, they're making a ton of money, but, you know, what they throw away, it's just sad. One more to fill in here. Like this. Yeah, so we'll get to the subfloor here in a minute. Alberto, you in here? Is that? Yeah. Hey, Alberto. Right there, where are you? How's it going, guys? How's everything? How are we all doing? In hibernation. This one's not. I don't want to use that one. This is the Pepsi one I was talking about. So here's what I was saying. Just so it looks good. You know, uniform. Here's Pepsi's different color, right? But it looks the same on that side. But what you got to do is you got to put this little washer thing, I call it now. Put that on there. And see, now it'll fit in snug. Right? So, and you want this fat part on the inside. Because it looks nicer, doesn't it? But no, the worms will have a harder time. Not that they can even do it. It took a lot to get to this point, I must say. I had worms one time. First of all, I tried to do it as less holes as I can when I first started doing fermenting. And this one here was reversed, right? This one here was like this. So I had it like this. And the worms would go in this hole and they'd all clog it all up. Worms, sometimes mites would even do it all. So I had to think of a way that they can't do it. And you know, it's so obvious now when you think of it. But when I think of the time spent thinking about this, it's just a riot, isn't it? All right, so now let's talk about the subfloor. Subfloor is anything, guys. Like here's what I have. Here's my material that I'm working with. I saw it on Facebook. Somebody says, hey, I got a bunch of wire. I ended up getting a ton of it. Guys, Facebook is a great way to get stuff free. And so what I do with this, I get my wire cutters. And let's see here. First, I guess I'm gonna make the tube, I guess. So I just go like this. Boom. Get some wire cutters. The tube, you know, I've got a video coming up that I'm working on of packing a bin with all fresh material. All fresh minced material. And I'm going to show you in that video how I process food. And I don't know if you need an internal aeration tube. I like it because I think it gives the worms some space, but I'm not sure. I've done it without it and it's worked fine. Right, this one's a little taller than it needs to be. You get the idea though, right guys? It's not rocket science, that's for sure. And you know, and I think I said this in one of my videos. It was one time, what is the mesh you are using? The mesh I'm using is galvanized fencing. Yeah, I don't know what kind it is. It's I got it on Facebook, so I don't necessarily know what kind it is. Let me just cut this up here like that. And so there's the bucket. Where is my subfloor can? Everything should be here. Where is it? Actually, I just use a... Where's that? Let me take the one out of this one. Discombobulated. Here we go. I'll use this one. What the heck? It's just a can. Here's a better one. This is just a regular cat can right here, right? That goes on the bottom like that. That stops this from getting debris clogging the hole, and it helps keep up the subfloor. So here is our, I don't need that anymore. Here's our inner aeration tube that we still need to work on. That's a little too tall. Cut that off. Right, and I wrap this with paper, and I'll show that in another video, but I wrap it. This is just about making it, right? So we got this. Let's put a subfloor. The subfloor I just cut out like that. On the subfloor, you want the subfloor to go right above, rest right above the, this one's, get rid of that one. Let's make a new one. That's our tube. Nothing to it. Subfloor, we're going to do this. Make a whole new one. And you can use any material, guys, all right? Like as I've said, it's totally anything goes. And I think I was saying about the inner aeration tube, I'm not sure you need it if you pack it right. I just like it myself because I feel safer with it. Because what the aeration tube does, here, like let me get the subfloor down on here first and I'll tell you. What do we got? Any more questions here? Did you stab any holes through the cat? Yes, I did. The cat, I did. I put a bunch of holes. I put a bunch of holes in the top and on the sides I usually put. I put finer holes on top and bigger holes on the side because I just want liquid to fall down straight on through. Right? In the sides, I want air to kind of go, to be able to go through. And notice how that bottom drain, how level it is to the subfloor or to the floor itself. So very little pooling goes on with that. And most of the time, it's just dripping. So, you know, these screens never clog when it comes to that inside here. You never get like water that has clogged because there's plenty of time for it to work its way through that mesh. All right, so these you want to be able to just make it so this, when you put the subfloor, this goes down first, cat can goes on there, this goes right on top of there, and what you want that subfloor to do is stay above those bottom aeration holes, right? So air can get underneath here and come up through there from the sides. Now, this here, here's what I was thinking. With this inner tube, I think, first of all, it adds some room for the worms to just have an open freeway, right? Because it is a tight spot. Nobody puts the massive amounts of worms or food we put in with fermenting in a container. And when you see the way I pack my next one, it's just amazing how they're just doing the magic in such a tight space. and how the more I worked on this fermenting system, and in another video, I'll show you exactly how the how it can probably become commercialized if you wanted to do it like that. I'm not sure if you're doing a commercial, you might want to do what commercial worm farmers do with the trenching. But let's say you live in the Arctic or something like that, where it gets wicked cold. I don't know. So anyway, this goes on here. So I packed the material up to here, right? To about here, so just below these aeration holes. So this air goes in here, down this tunnel, and out through here as well. And vice versa. The air that comes in through here can go up through the tunnel, is the thought, right? So they, at the very least, even if these clog down here, air is going down this tunnel from up here, because these never clog. The top ones never clog. The bottom ones get a little messy sometimes, because the worms, they like to get down there and party down below there. Right? So there, and that's that. What else? What time are we going on to? Maybe I can answer some questions. Yeah, you don't have to drill. Yeah, I hear you, Alberta. You don't have to drill. It's just something I do. Tuna cans work great too, right? They're invincible stuff. I mean, once it becomes part of the system, this can is value to me. Imagine all these cat cans people throw out. And to me, I see them, I'm like, wow, it's aluminum. I wonder what you think of what it took for this to get in our hands. And we take the cat can, we buy it cheap, take the cat food out and throw it out. What else you gonna do with them, right? Except if you ferment, you can use it as a cap thing. What else you want to talk about here? So yes, I did put some holes in there. Hey, thank you for shouting out to Alan. Yeah, Alan. Susie's here too. Hey, how's it going, Susie? I'm going live. Thanks to your help, I was having a hard time going live. I finally hit my 1,000 subscribers, if I can keep them, and I wasn't, for some reason, YouTube didn't catch up to my 1,000, but then I was able to do it and go live. So, what else? What other questions before I stop here? Let me see. I'm looking on my iPad. For those of you who are just tuning in, all 600 of you. I'm got my iPad here that I'm looking at the questions. I have my iPhone up here. So, and there's a little delay in the video I'm noticing as well. So, nice. I like that one, Alan. Yeah, I want to see your system. I can't wait to see it. Like, where's Rob? Rob is, we'll talk about him later, Rob. Are you in the group, Rob? It'll be a fun one to talk of. Rob is doing this new composting technique that's going to revolutionize the way we do composting, which will be great. I do hope he has some success with it, but I have my doubts because I don't get it, first of all, and he tells me I should get it, and I'm getting off the subject, but it's mostly for Alan and I inside kind of talking. But it's just funny. I hope he does get his composting technique down so we can all see it. But what else? What do we do? This lab? Yeah. Oh, we got more down here. Yeah, Rob is a blast. Susie, how's that? By the way, I don't even have to tell this 6 people here that Worm Composting UK is the best worm group on the planet. And, before you even subscribe to Vernmenting, I would go there first because they talk about everything. My Vernmenting is dedicated just to Vernmenting. It's just for this particular, and although I'm going into the T55, the continuous flow system method, because I wanted to see what is better. I didn't want to buy a Vermi bag or a urban worm bag or something like that, but I wanted to try it. And I have these 55-gallon drums that I picked up. So I'll let you know what I think about that one. At first I was thinking, wow, maybe continuous flow bins are easier. You got one big bin, you put your stuff in, the worms eat it, and you're done. But I think I'm getting way more castings with this fermenting setup, and I'll know more once my composting in the T55 kicks in. So I'll know more later on that one. But let's see here. Oh yeah, you're grabbing a beer. Oh my God, what time is it? Yeah, it's time for a beer. Heck yeah. All right. So what else, guys? That's it. What other questions do you have on this thing? You know, fermenting, right? Where'd you come up with the word? My wife thinks that word. She's big on words, unlike her husband. Fermenting comes from venting, vermiculture. The N is venting, I guess. I forget how I came up with the word. I'm not a word person, as you can guess by my writing on Facebook and stuff like that. So fermenting was all about fermenting too, because I figured it was similar, but it adds there rather than nowhere. So I came up with fermenting because it reminded me of fermenting in a lot of ways. But and at first, when I first started doing it, I got to tell you guys and girls, I had a ton of massive die-outs. Like I would say probably out of now hundreds and hundreds of fermenting cycles, I would say I probably had 10 die-outs. And if you've had one, it's not fun. Alan, I think you might have had something like that. Or somebody who was experimenting was having a hard time. It's not fun. Yeah, that's so true, Alberto. I feel the same way about fermenting. I started doing roadkill again. I stopped it for a little bit, but one of my family members hit a huge brown rabbit, and he felt so bad. And I'm thinking to myself, I could bury it, or I could turn it into soil and experiment with that thought of fermenting roadkill and what the possibilities are. I'm going to do a video on that, because what if, not just roadkill, what if our animals are turned into worm castings? It's morbid. I don't. This probably, I should be talking about this on a live show because there could be kids watching. But think about that. If you could ferment, like I've done big raccoons and big opossums with great results, and it goes fast. And let me tell you something, folks. After it's done, you hardly even. And I'll do a video on that one later. You notice I'm not moving my camera because you're not going to see my nasty basement. I need to clean it. Is what I need to do, and you'll be able to look back at me. But I'm not going to do that. You know, all these projects I'm working on, which are a lot of them when you think about it. These towers, and what else am I working on? This I got a huge pool in the backyard. Some of you might know about. It's like 65 years old, concrete pool, right? And I'm working on an organic filter. All my soilless growing days, I'm going to put all that in. Like in Europe, they're doing these natural swimming pools, right? I hope to filtrate my pool filter while growing veggies. Instead of aquatic plants, I'm going to have veggies. Anyway, yeah, Alan, I know. It's so bad, isn't it? But I love it. I love looking for stuff. It brings excitement to my life when I'm driving around. I got this little dinky car. You should see the stuff I pack in it. So let's see here. Yeah, I think you have more control. I'm back up to Alberto's. Now, you know, my back parking lot is the only one yet. Before the COVID hit, I was getting ready to go into one of our little grammar schools and start doing some towers. But this year, 2021 is going to be the year for Eve for me. And I know it works on a residential. And with these towers, I have a feeling commercial growers are going to eat it up. I'm going to try corn this year, which you never grow corn because it takes up so much space, right? With the long rows. I'm going to try corn. And my towers, I'm going to start revealing those. I have shown some in the Facebook groups. Link below. Some of you have seen it. But, yeah, I got a leaf, Alan. And it's funny. It's been working well. It's not conducive yet to the way society's run for electrical around here anyway. But we just love it. I can't say enough about it. I can't wait till we're all driving these energy-efficient cars. And I know that, you know, people will say, you know, we're still burning oil to get that electricity. I realize that, but we're working our way out of that. You're welcome, Alan. Anything, my friend. Yeah, it's open source. And add your twist, because I know you've got an amazing... I get stuff from you as well. Please do it. You're more than welcome to. And if you use my name, Eve, I'd appreciate it. that would be great if you used it like that. And if there's anything I can help with it, if you know, maybe the school will fly me to England and we could do it firsthand, do a couple of them. That's my goal. I would love to build Eve gardens for people. I am looking for work. I would love to work for, you know, I hate to say it, I'd like to work for Amazon. Eventually, I'd love to work for those guys because they already have the robotics down in their warehouses. And I've got a business plan for them that I think would rock their world. And I'll tell you guys here because you're my favorites. Most of you here are my Worm Composting UK favorites, right? Except I don't see Stacy here. Where are you? Stacy is a great one, huh, guys? With the camera on the cocoons. Where's my trash can? Oh, my whole floor is. So, what else can I ramble on? I think I got to cut it short, guys. That's it. This is the latest. And I'll snap a picture of this bin. And so everybody, because there's a couple people that were thinking of making them. And I just don't want them to do the old ones, the 2 buckets. So the parts, I was talking about in one of my videos, a lot of parts. But you know what? It's not, once it's made, it's not that many, right? And if you can get rid of this thing, you got a little bit more room. I like the inner aeration tube myself. Yeah, I hear you, Alan. The T55. Well, we could talk on that, you and I too. But yeah, I got to get that one going. I've got 2 in back of me, as you probably know. One that I'm processing my no-no there, and the other one I'm trying with compost. You know, minced compost, and I'm packing it layer by layer, similar to a fermenting bin, right? But it's just, it's taking longer than I'd like to come out the bottom of it. So we'll see. With my own outputs, that machine is working really good. But I hate to say it again, guys. With the 2 outputs, it's like pumpkin. I think they love it so much. And when I was doing it with the fermenting for the first 3 years, I was doing it. It was that's where I came up with my 8-week timeline because they had it done within 8 weeks. You open that bin, and all you have is castings, nice light castings. Maybe it's just the stuff I've eaten and all the good, healthy food and drinking that I drink, but I don't know. Organization. Yeah, I hear you there. I hear you there. Like an ecosystem, you're right. It's like its own little... Yeah, I started out doing it with plastic too, Alan, initially. Burning holes into the plastic. But I tell you, these are invincible too, and I don't know, I hear what you're saying, because they do work, but this again has more air going in it. But yeah, bottle cap, whatever's available is what you use for sure. Yeah, with a bigger bin, with the bigger bin, they take a lot to get established. So that's the deal. I figure by the time I work my way to the top, the bottom will start falling down like they do with my other one there. The bottles, these I return. Some of them, this is a returnable one here. I try to keep the barcode. I cut the top end, of course, and I have to, I make, these are new ones here, but I make Eve prototypes that you can get it. I have some upstairs. These have just been planted, but I have some that show the roots going all down here, and it's kind of an Eve miniature that I'll be doing for, and I'll dedicate that one to Suzie or Stacy. I forget, girls. One of you wanted me to show you how to make one of those, and I gotta do that. I think it was Stacy that was wanting to do it. But they're great. I'll show you how to make those, and I wonder if I have one here. I don't have one. I'll show you when I do one of my tower videos in the Eve growing, how that planter works. But the bottles I try to return. If there's no barcode, it goes to recycling, and hopefully they're doing what they're supposed to do with them. That'd be great. I had the T55, my original setup there. My T55 I had going, probably 2 years. I started with just, let me see here. I'll have to look at my photographs. I don't write anything down, but I take a lot of pictures. And I think with my first one, when I called it a wheelie thing, that one worked really good too. And I think that one holds promise because maybe you don't need as much space as 1.5 55-gallon drums, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I could do a live stream and make a T55 on that, Alberto. I could do that. What's that? Do what work with the cut? Which one on that one, Alan? You said, do they work with the tops cut off? With the tops cut off. Messy. And this sink here, I put my worms on here. It's also a power composter. I'll do a video on that one sometime. I love mincing the food up so small. I was doing this initially when I first started YouTubing. I was doing power composting. At 55, see if a live stream would be great. Yeah, I got to do more live streaming. Then we'll see how this works out. Unfortunately, I can't cut out all the silly mistakes I make. But live is great. And especially if I could just do the video, put it up there, and I don't have to mess with the editing and stuff. Maybe that's how I get it out there quicker. Right? Those little bottle planters. Yes. Okay, they said those little bottle planters. Some of them, they can go a year without feeding. How are you saying, Ellen, in that much space? Oh, wow. Yeah, I want castings fast. And maybe, and I know one thing about with a fermenting bin, you know what you're packing. You got a timeline when it's done. And whatever isn't done, you throw it back in there. And you have, I don't know, it just seems to be, I feel like I'm getting more castings. But I shouldn't say that because with my T55, when I'm composting my outputs, that goes pretty fast too. So I don't, with the T55, what I got to understand, it can, multiple people use that T55. That would be the question. What does a 55, I think 2 or 3 people could probably work off of one T55. In my bathroom, Morbius, those are 55 gallons plus. Oh, all right. I see a hey, Alan, you said, hey, Rob. Rob, are you in here or what? Where are you, Rob? I don't see you. I don't see how I know who's there. Chat publicly. Oh, yeah, you see that T-Pain party guy there. That's me, too. That's mine other YouTube channel that I was thinking of for all my political thoughts. I want to have a... instead of doing it on a Grow channel, I was thinking maybe I'd go the T-Pain party. Many of you should know here, there's 7 of you, right? I think you probably know that Thomas Paine's not my last name. It's not my name at all. Mark is, but, Thomas Paine isn't mine. I was on Facebook, and Facebook said I have to be a real person. And I didn't want to lose what little people I had on the Facebook group, so I just changed it to Mark Thomas Paine. Also, it's good internet etiquette, right? So you don't use your real name in case somebody doesn't like what you do or whatever and decides to hunt you down and eat you alive or whatever. Yes, okay. What else we got? Do some more over the next few weeks during lockdown. All right. How about we plan a day? Maybe it's Monday night or something, and we'll plan once a week. In our house we have our one of our relatives, Katie, God love her. She was doing a painting class, and we were all painting together. So, if you got, you don't have to. I don't know how many people have a 55-gallon drum on hand and we all make it together type thing, But, yeah, once a week, if this works out good, I'll stick to an hour. How long are we here now? I'm trying to look to see how long this is. Let me look up top, see how far we got to go here. We're on... Oh, we're almost an hour. I'm going to have to close out because, as many of my relatives know, I could talk all day about growing food. And all kinds of the no-nos of politics and religion. I just love talking about it. And especially when you realize that those are probably what's causing most of the problems in the world, right? Our politicians and our religious organizations. You know, they may have good intentions, but I think we'll talk about that later on, that part of it. I don't want to lose everybody already. But, okay, I guess I'm going on an hour. And let me see how T-Pain Party guy, I don't know how I'm seeing anybody here. Look, I'll type something. Hi, Mark. Hi, Mark. There I am. Yeah, that's my Thomas. I was hoping to start you know how the Tea Party that we have here in America, they have this Tea Party of all conservative types. I was thinking of the T-Pain Party. So the T-Pain Party, which is, those of you from England must know the great Thomas Paine, right? I don't know if you either like him or you don't like him, but I think these days many of us like him. But in his time, of course, the Brits didn't like Thomas Paine at all. In fact, the Americans didn't like Thomas Paine, right? Look at me, this politician. Stay on topic. I hear you, Alan. All right, that's it, guys. What else? That's the end of the show. That's the end of it. Yeah, stay on topic. Good one. All right. What else? Any other questions before I go? I am a hooker. I am a virgin. Oh, what's that mean? What does it mean, Alberto? Well, we have 8 people now. Did I see Rob in here? Rob, are you in here? Oh, thank you, Alan. Where's Rob? I don't see him in there. Somebody said hi, Rob. I don't see him. Or hey, Rob. Alan said that. Going live. And that's it. No questions, but you should definitely do regular live streams. All right, we'll have to set it on the schedule. See what's a good day for everybody. Maybe during the week. I hope everybody's doing good during the lockdown. It's probably going to be around for a while, huh? All this stuff going on. You know what? I just want to say one thing. I know it has nothing to do about growing and stuff like that. But, you know, I've been a part of, and I plug these guys in my videos a lot, the Venus Project, Zeitgeist Movement, Free World Charter, right? Been a part of them for many years. I don't think any of us ever thought we could usher in a whole new way of thinking about life that this has done for us right now. So I'm kind of amazed that people, I think it's kind of neat in a lot of ways. It's sad that people are dying because of it, but I think many people are taking the time to really think about stuff and what's important in life. And you don't need so much. That gardening in its own right can keep us all busy, right? You Worm Composting UKers. Love that group, by the way. I must give that group a plug. I've got to plug you more because you are the best worm group on the internet by far. I spend no time in any other. And I'm so grateful to find you guys. So I'm going to sign off with that thought. Thank you, Alan. I don't worry about editing. Just share the ideas and passion. You got it, Alan. Yeah, right. All right. Good. Hey, Alan, with these raised beds, are you putting a reservoir inside, like so they can wick up and you don't have to water them as much? Kind of like my Eve Tower in a sense, but any raised bed, if you put like a 3-gallon bucket in there with some wicking cloth, it's a place where the roots and the worms, of course, if you forget to water it or whatever, they have a place to go. So that's another idea I tell people who have raised beds. You could turn them into wicking beds as well, right? Yeah, nice, Alan. Keep up the good work. Love your videos. And we'll talk to you later, Susie. If I have a good holiday season, all of you. Merry Christmas. And all that good stuff. Yeah, 25. Oh, all right. Using cut down 25. Yeah, we got to see. I got to check out your stuff more, Alan. Get the big picture of it all. You got to do a live streaming too, or do you? Have you been doing live streams? All right, guys. I'm calling it a day. I can't believe I had 800 people in here. That's so amazing. All right, guys. God bless. Over and out. Yeah, let's shut it off now. 60 minutes. Still going. Those who are remaining might get to see. Now, let's see here. Where the heck is this thing? Yeah. Share, cancel. Come on, Mark. How do you shut this off, for crying out loud? I don't want to lose it either. Live. The computer expert. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes, I am.